Hi, Kay.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. First off, I'd like to say thank you very much for taking the time to be interviewed today. I'd like to read a bit of your introduction for our listeners and then we can get right into the conversation. So, hello everyone. We have Kay Oliver here with us. Kay is a dynamic storyteller holding degrees in radio, TV, film from California State University, Fullerton, and an MBA in business. With over 3 decades in entertainment, spanning studios and TV stations, she produced, wrote, and directed films. Defying gender biases and the notion that female centric stories lack marketability in Hollywood, Oliver took the leap in becoming an author, championing women's resilience in her novels. Passionate about storytelling, Kay's literary journey began with the success of Disturbed Tombs, evolving into a compelling series. Grave Disturbances, the second installment, and the upcoming release, Disturbing Remains. Kay's works include Road to Elysium, resonating with readers on a deeply human level. In her latest work, Ice Cream Moments, she explores family dynamics with empathy. Honored in Marques's Who's Who in America 2024, Oliver's legacy as a legendary storyteller is cemented. Wow! Welcome, Kay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy that you're here with me today. So, Kay, tell us before we get into the nitty-gritty of things about Hollywood and your work. What was it like growing up as a Kay Oliver?
It was tough. They used to use the term latchkey kids, that kids that would come home with, they would have a key to the house around their neck and be home alone. So my brother and myself pretty much raised ourselves. I found out I had a passion for writing in sixth grade when I entered a speech contest, won, and then continued doing all my extra classes were either in speech or drama or some kind of storytelling. And from there, I went to college and got my degree in radio, TV, and film.
So, the question, how and why did you transition from working in Hollywood to becoming an award-winning author?
Well, as I worked in Hollywood, which is a very male dominant industry, and there's others out there, it was very hard to maneuver as a woman to bring forth, great story ideas in screenplays and then hear that strong leading women not marketable, uh, which I disagreed with, very much so. During my time in Hollywood at working with studios and navigating the path through there, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I was let go of my job. So I lost my income and my insurance. And
Are you okay now, though?
yeah, absolutely. I am a survivor, 14 years. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
the Lord. Praise the Lord.
So, I battled through that with friends and made it through. And when I went back into Hollywood, I had a new set of priorities, right? Your life changes when you go through anything like that.
Hmm.
And then I decided, well, I did it. I took a leap in the sense of not of my choice, but the studios at the time when I got the breast cancer. Now I can trust myself and believe in myself to take the leap to write and be creative the way I want to tell the story. So then that leap.
Mm-hmm. Can we go back to your time, your career journey in Hollywood? What were you doing before? And I'm hearing that it is very male dominated, but they don't. For me, looking from the outside, from Asia, it looks like it's equal, but it's very much, yeah,
Mm.
no, yeah,
Um,
no. I
um,
like that. No, drop that no.
so, women have been fighting for extra, equal pay. If you are,
Mm,
have a role that's kind of equal to the male lead role, well, you have not been getting equal pay. You get substantially less. And
mm,
women are fighting for that. I had that situation happen twice, not being an actress, but as someone employed in Hollywood, where the male counterpart doing the same job, mind you, was getting paid more,
Wow.
20,000 or more than I was. And when I approached management, something that I can talk about, because there's
Yeah.
things that were
Yeah.
said that I
Completely
don't want to know.
understand. Yeah.
They actually said to me, well, he has children at home and he's the head of the house. And that was
Oh.
9 to
Oh.
9 to 5 or 5 to 9. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can go out and adopt a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Precisely.
exactly. So things like that, and people say, well, it's changing. There's a few films going out there. Well, it's changing a little bit and then not. In the sense that when women get equal pay, they can make the kind of money the men are making. They can start their own production companies and they can make these films. But until that fully happens, right, and women are getting the same millions that the men are getting, it makes it more difficult because they're still in control with more money and flexibility to do stuff. We even saw it in the Oscars this year. I mean, let's talk about Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get nominated.
Yeah.
The director didn't get nominated. It was just like
Mm.
until years ago with Barbara Streisand. So
Mhm.
has it changed all that much? Are women a little wiser now? We're wiser. We do require more. We do want more. We do want equal pay, but you also have to be very careful of not becoming the problem child by mentioning quality. So, you have to pick your battles, and, what battles are those? You bang your head against the wall so much, or you have to let so much slip, not pay attention to it because you can't bring up everything, or you're just complaining all the time. And, they already, see a woman's complaint most often as she's just emotional.
Nuisance.
Oh,
Yeah.
you heard it wrong. That's not what he said. I've had all
Mm.
that said to me, and I'm like, what I'm not is deaf. What I'm not is stupid. And I know what I heard, and I know what I saw. So, yeah.
Wow. I love what you're doing because you are, I think, third guest that actually was speaking to. I had two. They're also independent filmmakers, and both are ladies. I don't know if you know them because everybody's in the industry might know the people. It's the Boylan sisters, and
Okay.
yeah, and they also had the same struggles. I would say, maybe not so much in pay, but then one of them, because they were sisters, so one of them wanted to pursue acting, and she hoped for 10 years. She tried to make that big break in Hollywood until she said, you know what, I'm going to pick me. I'm going to go out there and do my own films. And she went on to attain few awards, in fact, for the movies that they made. So I mean, kudos. And I right now, hearing it from you again, the struggle is real,
The
and we
struggles.
need, yeah, and we need more people like yourself and this to get out there. So I hope I'm helping that. And I'm from Asia, so most of my listeners are basically divided into Malaysia and America. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think yeah, slowly but surely.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, and I hope that the path behind me, I've left some room for whoever's, any women coming up that way that, show that there are strong women who will fight. Because I know that at times when I brought something up, they were like, yeah, whatever, go, you do whatever and then when I'd show up
It's
with all the
so,
paperwork and
yeah,
documents, again, whoa, yes, yes, I know what I said. So,
it's so disheartening when you're just dismissed like that.
yes, yes, absolutely, it is. And you see it every day. And that's the thing, it's like it's still happening. So,
How do you stay motivated? Like, this is me asking to you personally.
because I'm worth it, because
Yay!
yes, because I'm not taking anything less because I know who I
Exactly.
am. And I have been that way
Reach,
for
reach,
quite
reach.
some time. So you either make friends or you don't make friends. And the friends you
Mhm.
make are going to be the kind of people who are like minded. Right. So I have great friends from Hollywood that I adore and love, who've always treated me as an equal. And I have people I'll just never talk to again. So,
You
you
just
have
need to have that boundaries.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
you do. You have to stick to them. You know,
Yeah.
um, I was fortunate on my first television show to have a great producer on the show who pulled me in and said, "You seem disheartened." And I said, I am because, the other ladies in the office were doing different things. And I'm not that person. I'm not going to yell and scream. I'm not going to fight. It's either black and white or it's this or that, or we're going to negotiate. And he said, you don't have to change, but just realize some people will do things that maybe you don't want to do and they'll go up the ladder faster, but they'll also fall down the ladder faster.
Yes.
So, I always want to know that when I put my head on my pillow at night, I've made the best decisions for me.
Done the
Not
best.
necessarily for the company, but for me. So,
For you. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yes. So coming back to the producer, you mentioned some of the you said a producer. So what was it like working for the producers, well-known producers, directors like Leo Wazerman, Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Katzenberg? I hope I'm pronouncing their
I
names
love
correct.
both of them. So Lou Wasserman owned Universal Studios for years, and he has a rich history in helping Hollywood become the way it did. He was always nice to me, always spoke to me, was a little bit of a practical joker, which made the whole company that way. Practical jokes were a lot of things. We called him Uncle Lou because it was a big
Uncle
family.
Lou. Okay.
Uncle Lou until he sold
Uncle.
it. And then things changed. But, Steven Spielberg, and Lou Wasserman were very close. So working for Steven Spielberg is great. Jeffrey Katzenberg, so the three of them, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Steven Spielberg, and David Geffen started DreamWorks Studios. Katzenberg's big thing is he was known for Lion King when he was at Disney, and then all of the Shrek movies and all of that is Jeffrey Katzenberg. And he too loves invention. He too puts, money where it will improve the studios and everything else. He works a lot. And I really enjoyed working with him. He was just a ball of energy. And he reminded me of Lee Wasserman. And so I felt right at home with them.
What's Steven Spielberg like?
That's funny. That's the question I get most often.
I'm sorry. I mean, Jeffrey. Yeah. See, it's. I mean, I'm sure Lou, Steven, and Jeffrey, they all have their own accolades and their achievements, right? But then because
Right.
their names that pop up on the screens are the name, which is him. And who's the other one? That one, Transformers. Who's it? I forgot the name of the producer. And never mind, it'll come to me.
I had it in my head just a second ago.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Well, yeah, he's known for his action movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God, why? When I needed the most.
Not Dick Wolf. Well, he's another one, but he's more TV. Yeah. So we'll just move on.
I cannot
But,
stand it. I need to find the answer. It's okay. Okay, you can share with us what Steven's like.
Yeah, so down to earth, loves music, movie making, passionate about movie making.
Yes, Michael Bay.
Yeah, you think
Yes, that
a
one.
lot of commercial movies, except for like Schindler's List, which was a passion of his, right?
Uh-huh.
With the heritage and everything. And just very down to earth, someone you could walk up to and start talking. And, first of all, I'm in a studio situation, so I walk up, I would start talking to him, right? But he'd probably do it on the street too. And I got to meet his dad at a premiere party. And he was so cute. And
gosh.
I walked up to him because for some reason they didn't have a DreamWorks table for people to sit at during the premiere of House of Sand and Fog with Ben Kingsley. And I had walked up I saw his dad walking around trying to find a place to sit, and everybody was shooing him away. Nobody knew who he was, I guess.
Steven's dad. Wow.
Steven's dad. It's just, who's this older gentleman? I don't know. And I ran down there and I said, okay, wait right here. I'm going to get you a seat because I knew who he was. And he goes, I'm Steven's dad. He was so proud of Steven that I like.
As he should be.
I don't want to start laughing at you, but it was adorable. And
I can imagine.
Got him a seat, and Ben Kingsley gave up his seat for for Steven's dad. He's like, have him sit at my table. I'll be walking around. So so I took him over there and sat him down. But it was just like a peacock feathers coming out. It was adorable. I'm sure that's not the term
Oh,
you'd like me to use, but yeah. So, and he's passed on now, but yeah, he was so proud to see it. So, yeah.
did you love working in Hollywood? I think you did.
Love working in Hollywood. So, a lot of people ask me, do you miss all that glamour of Hollywood? And I'm like, the only time it's glamorous is when you're walking on the red carpet
Hmm.
and you're glued and you're taped and your safety pin and your hair can't move and your
And
makeup's sweaty.
you got your full on makeup on.
Yeah, your makeup's like, because, like Emmy Awards start out here at like 5 o'clock to be 9 o'clock or whatever on East Coast. So we're walking the red carpet in the heat of the day. And you're like,
Oh my
really?
God. Yeah. Oh
Well,
my God. That's like Malaysia.
yeah,
Except you have to
exactly,
walk with your
exactly.
designer clothing
Right,
with your
right.
makeup on and it's all dripping. And then
And
you got
that's the only
that
time
fan.
you can't move and you're worried things are showing and
Yeah.
like there is no glamour. Yeah, yeah. And then working with the people you work with, which other people, oh my God, so and so. They're people. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't stress it enough. They're people.
That's true.
It's like you're talking to your coworker, I'm talking to mine. Just happens to have a face that everybody recognizes around the world. But you kind of forget that when you're talking to. At least I do. I've been
Ex
into that. So yeah,
yeah. What a great experience. Okay. I love
yeah.
that.
So I started in video editing, putting movies together, and I think that really helped me formulate stories and know how to put stories together. Yeah.
Plus that you are innately good in writing and you liked writing.
Well, yes.
Made it even. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
your gift and talent and skills combined. Wow.
Correct.
So tell us, Kay, what is your writing process like?
So my writing process is it's in here. I don't do plotting. I don't sit down and say chapter one's going to be this, chapter two is going to be this. I think I see the movie in my head, but I don't
Mm,
write it like a movie, because when you're writing screenplays, you leave out a lot of the picture information. So if you want someone to know that you're a strategic character, sitting next to you is probably a chessboard or something that is strategic. That you and I watching the film pick that up. You don't have to say this person's strategic. You don't have to build out their
uh,
personality. You do
right.
in book. You have to set the scene. You have to uh,
Yeah.
write differently. And then dialogue is a lot of mine because I always tell students when I go talk at schools and things, none of us speak in perfect sentences and we don't use people's names and everything. I've seen movies where it's like, hey, Bill, da da da. Well, Jake, da da da. Well, Bill, da da. And you're like, oh, we don't talk like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I already had a natural act from writing screenplays to write dialogue, which is what really moves a book forward. So I
Exactly.
sit down and I start typing. I have an idea of the beginning or the question. My first book was, Disturbed Tombs. I won 4 awards for that book of the year as well. And it came from a question. Why do we bring up every mummy we find in Europe towards, Sudan, which has more, by the way? And we leave our graveyards sacred and you can't touch them. But we can dig up. If you find 28 mummies, dig up 28 mummies. They dig up every single one they find. And I'm like, are we disturbing their peace? What are we
Mhm.
doing that, we think our bodies are sacred, but not theirs? Is there a
Yeah.
limit? What is it? So
Oh,
that's
that's a
where that
good
whole
one.
book story idea came. And I knew how I wanted to end it, and I knew, the premise. And I didn't realize it was a very complicated book to write. Hopefully, it's a first book, so don't tell me. Well, tell me that stuff because then I'll be like, eh. So, because it goes back and forth, it goes into the time of Celine, Cleopatra of Celine, who is Cleopatra's daughter, and
Hmm.
Seti. A lot of people know him from The Mummy, the movie, which I did work on that. But
No, you did the work on Mummy?
yeah, and
Brendan Fraser Mummy?
Brendan Fraser, Mommy, and Odifar, who is the guy with the long hair and the hawk on the shoulder.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Great.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
He's
uh-huh.
a great guy. He is
Oh my
delightful.
God, no, I grew up
So,
with that. Okay,
yes.
I'm fangirling right now.
So they're doing
Okay,
a
okay.
Mummy
Keep it
4, I
cool,
think. I
Nicolette.
think
Keep it cool.
Brandon's doing another Mummy now. So
Oh,
I'm curious.
really?
Yes, I'm
Is it
curious about your
Rachel
opinion.
still, or it's a different
The other one,
person?
the new one.
And the partner, is it still Rachel?
No, Rachel
Wise
White.
Grace,
It was
Rachel.
she only did 2 of the 3, and they replaced
That
her.
Oh really?
I
The
think
Rose.
she, I think she's one of the most naturally beautiful women in Hollywood. There's a before makeup and after
Chef's
makeup. She looks
kiss.
good either way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, you did. Okay, had a part in mommy. Okay. Yay! I'm talking to somebody who actually had a part in mommy. Well, sorry for cutting you off, Kay. So that was your that
that's
was
all
your
good. Yeah,
writing process.
yeah.
So
So I just sit down and I just start writing, and I normally go about 31 to 32, 33 chapters in a book, roughly. I gauge what I'm writing as I see, where am I and how many words do I have and what's going on in the book. But I take a lot of everyday situations and put it in the book. I I do a Spielberg thing where you might think something horrible is going to happen, and then you start laughing because oh, that's not what's going on. I'll lead you down the path one way, and then all of a sudden in the next sentence it's like, wait a minute. And my readers say that they really enjoy that because I don't like to do a lot of foreshadowing or letting you know what's going to happen.
ready, yeah.
Sing along and find out.
Oh, I have so much respect for writers. I just wanna, if there is a technology to get like to have a sneak peek into your what's going on here, it'd be nice.
Or not.
Just a museum, just like a museum, like an exhibition. Like, okay, this is the I don't know, the brain.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
We
but
hardly
then
know
you
much
have
about the brain.
the ability to choose which one, which compartment of your brain. Okay, this is my process. This is usually how it's done. Oh my God, maybe we would have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see any of your novels being turned into a film?
Yes, actually. Road to Elysium it's a Wonderful Life meets Blind Side, and it's actually with the production house right now, reading it, and a couple of other streaming services have it also asked for it. So it is out and about in the world of Hollywood. So we'll see. Somehow I might get sucked right back in.
Oh yeah, somehow.
Yeah. So, I
Oh my
wrote
God, I'm
them out of
excited for
pure love.
you.
So, yeah. So they're out being shot.
That is
That's what
such a
I call
big
it.
news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. So when it does come out, I'm like, I interviewed that person. The
That's exactly.
yeah,
We had
yay.
coffee when yeah.
Yeah, we had exactly. We had coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the stars are aligning for me. Wow. Okay. Hashtag grateful. Hashtag blessed. So, okay, what tips would you give to new writers or someone who wants to start writing their own novels?
I would say make sure that you set up time in your day, even if it's 15 minutes. Right. The hardest part of writing is starting. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I made sure that I had a nice little desk and my plant next to me, and I have a view out my window. It's a place I want to be. And, if you want a candle or something, whatever that makes you feel comfortable, and start writing and write 15, 20 minutes a day. If you're worried about writer's block, then don't stop at the end of a chapter, or maybe even in the middle of a sentence is where you want to stop because you got momentum going already. So when you sit back
Hmm.
down the next time, you'll already know what your thought was at that time, and you can continue writing.
That's
And
right.
um, I've so far, not the one, I've never had writer's block. There's times where I'm like, I just can't write today, but there's days where I write all day. That I'm a pretty fast writer. So I always say do that. And then the other main tip, and somebody who likes to get everything perfect the first time, and I fail at that miserably, but is
We
not to
all did at
worry.
some point. Me
Yeah,
too.
not to worry, just write. Write, 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 write. Get it down. Don't worry about, spelling or whatever just get the ideas down and on paper. Great novels are never made in the first draft or probably the second. It's when you're in the edit mode that the great novel happens, not when you're writing it the first time at all. So
And
people need
it's
to
true.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the ideas down. You can go back, you can add, you can delete, you can change. And the main thing is to get the novel written.
Same thing as writing a song, right? You never, I mean, some people get it right the first time, but then you just need to write something. Or writing poems, you just
Yeah,
need to
the
pen
funny
it
thing about
out.
songs, so I know a lot of country music stars. In fact, one is in my book called Ice Cream Moments. Ty Herndon is a
Oh,
good friend of mine. And I said, hey, can I write you into one of my books as yourself? And he said, absolutely. So Ty Herndon is in Ice Cream Moments. And they get together with other people and write songs, right? They have little, I've always wanted to get together with you and write this song. And a lot of songwriters do that. They have songwriting sessions.
yeah.
Yeah, so that,
Like say we're both songwriters, right? Like we'll collaborate like this, like they do it
correct.
on Zoom or whatnot, and like or what they do is they send a sample and then they start. Yeah, no,
You guys
that's
have
when
this
the recording
melody.
says.
Right,
Yeah, the
exactly.
melody, and then this is where you change. I mean, I have yet to. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find in Podmatch who's music producer. I'd like to
Oh, yeah,
get them on and trying to have a peek into what goes on with
right,
production of a music, of a
right.
melody.
Another creative
The
aspect. Yeah,
creative, yeah, the
yeah.
creatives. Like I never peg myself as a creative, but actually we're all creators.
Yes.
We are all that. When you So it can be conditioned upon you, or you just believe because you failed at something that may be a creative endeavor, and then you completely categorize yourself as, okay, I'm not good at this. I would I would never draw. Maybe you're not good in drawing, but maybe you're good at creating something like designing.
Or,
Uh,
well, like I believe Henry Ford went bankrupt a couple times before he came up with, or he has been, credited with coming up with the line. But
mhm.
there's a number of people who have failed at something, and what I hear a lot of from actors is they failed at, their parents wanted them to become a doctor or a lawyer, this or that, and they decided I'm going to get an easy A by taking a drama course, and the next thing you know, so failing is part of succeeding. You cannot succeed without failure. You cannot succeed without saying, "My gosh, I did that wrong, but I'm going to learn from it. Next time, I'm not doing that."
Mhm.
So that is true about life. So
Mhm.
yeah, on with creativity. And
Mhm.
make sure you're surrounded by people who support you, because there are
Yes.
people, no matter what you
Who will
do,
doubt?
uh,
Plant that seed of doubt. Yes.
the negativity, that'll never happen. Or why are you trying to roll their eyes? You don't need those people in your life. If they're family,
No.
your stuff. But friends, you choose your friends. You actually
Yes.
actively choose your friends. And I have some great friends who have characters in my book. So
Uh-huh.
what I do is, here's a little trivia
Okay.
is I find a friend who I haven't used yet, and when I start, I'll say, hey, there's going to be a character named Adele in my book. What is the last name you'd like to have? Because I'm going to fashion the character after you. And in this one, it's my girlfriend Doris, who's
Oh.
the best friend of the lead character. So they're always somebody I know, and I get their, tell me a name, last name that you'd like to have, um, and I use them because now I have this person I know very well. I don't have to build a
Yeah.
fictional character because I already know what Doris is like. I know what Adele's like. I know what Adele likes to cook. So you throw those little human things in there because you know it, and I enjoy that. So that's how I get to come up with my secondary characters.
Wow. And it makes it a lot easier because you connect to them in real
Yes,
life, right?
yes,
If only you look. No wonder you don't get writer's block because you utilize everything around you.
absolutely do.
You should,
Absolutely,
yeah.
very resourceful. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, my next question was, do you draw on your own experiences to give your characters life? Well, I
Oh,
guess this
I
is
think
this is
yes,
a good question. Yeah, but we need to talk about it.
absolutely. But my lead characters, here's another trivia. All my lead characters in my books, their name starts with the letter K. K Oliver, K. So
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So
I
I've
could
done
I
that
could
throughout
quiz
all
that
my
to
books.
somebody. Are
Yeah,
you
and
reading
then
K Oliver's book? Yes. So
yeah,
what's one thing that I can tell you one thing that you don't know? The lead, what's their initial? Oh,
their first
okay.
name starts with the letter K.
Yeah,
Carrie,
and how'd you know? Because
Nellie.
I interviewed the author myself.
You're gonna be
Wow.
walking around with all this trivia.
Yeah. Whew, okay, that's a good one. Sorry, Kate. Yes, you were saying.
So yeah, there's a lot of self that goes into those characters. So something that may have happened in my life, how I wish I would have handled something. People tell me that my stories transcend the pages. So when they put
Mm.
the book down, regardless of the story, they wonder, are we disturbing their peace? How did that person handle that within the story? Is that something that I wouldn't have thought of doing? Or just that kind of information I get back from my readers. And that to me is the best compliment that I can get.
It's pretty
I,
rewarding, huh?
yeah.
Oh, my heart is bursting for you and for all the creative artists out there. The work that you do is so, so important. Mm, thank you. Thank you for that.
Well, my pleasure.
So
So I enjoy it.
I cannot wait to meet you, okay? So what is next for you?
Uh, I'm already, well, I have one book coming out at the end of this month called Love's Calculated Risk. And I am 8 chapters in on the next book after that, which will be book 2 of Sisters in Cold Blood. So I'm starting the second series.
Why, when you said Love Calculated Risk, why did I imagine that to be on Netflix already?
Because it sounds like something Hallmark or
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
I
So,
have had producers or writers or production companies go, their movies are actually anti-Hallmark in the sense of it's not wealthy man meets, girl from country or, you know, guy from country meets wealthy girl. They're on an equal playing level to begin with. Something happens in the relationship and they become, romantically inclined, but not, like not necessarily predictive.
mhm.
Something negative might happen in Road to Elysium. It starts off in depression and loss of hope and all of that, and ends up becoming, you know, redemption and love and a relationship that nobody saw coming. So that's what I like to write.
I mean, I'd publish that. I don't know. What do you call that? What do you call when you publish it to Netflix? Like produce, right? I
produce it,
get it
produce a
on.
film.
Yeah, produce a film. Mm, mm. So, okay. We're gonna pivot to a self-worth question because my podcast talks a lot
Yeah.
about self-worth. So the question for you, Kate, how can mindfulness and self-awareness practices contribute to self-discovery and a healthier self-concept?
You have to question a lot of things. So I had, in my experience, a narcissistic mother growing up. If you understand that phrase and you know that my brother was untouchable, did everything right, and I affectionately called him the golden child to his face, and he knows it. And I could do nothing right. Everything was wrong. So I woke, I grew up with a lot of self-doubt and a lot of fear in life. And I thought, this isn't right. This isn't right. I started catching, as you get older, I started catching my mom in lies and things like that. I did go to some therapy. And when I got the breast cancer, it was amazingly horrible. The
What a
therapist actually,
juxtaposition. Amazingly horrible.
amazingly horrible. It's not something that I wish on anybody. And Mother's Day was the hardest card for me to buy because my mom was not supportive. She wasn't loving. Everything was hers, and what you owned was hers, and very greedy, and everything was about her one way or another. And I had to learn that's who she is. That's the way it is. It's not going to change. There's nothing I can do to change it. And I had to start believing and trusting in myself. It's like, no matter what she says, that's not true. So that was a very good grounding for me before I went into Hollywood. Because if you don't have thick skin in Hollywood,
Yeah.
things that are said to you, you're going to, oh my gosh, am I that bad? And,
Yeah.
nobody is. Nobody's as bad as people say you are, and you're not as beautiful and great as people say you are. You're in the middle like everybody else. And I had to learn that I can't seek her approval because I'll never get it. So good or bad, but I learned my self-worth. And like I think I said at the beginning, I know who I am. I examine everything about me personally. And if a fear came into my head, I would start doing self-talk. Why are you fearful of that? Why are you thinking this? And I talk to myself off the cliff, as we like to phrase it, and would work with trying to find out, doing things I love to do. So charity and giving and helping people is something I love to do, something very polar opposite from my mother. So, I will go out and go to the food banks and get food and bring it back and then share it with all the neighbors that need food. I enjoy that. I enjoy making 10 meals of something and delivering it to a food bank so that they can have their families. Things like that, I just absolutely enjoy. And my mom would tell you that I'm being used. That would be my mom's phrase. If you keep doing that, they're going to use you and expect this from you. I'm like, it's an expectation I'm fine with. I'm fine with giving and sharing
You
and
only get
helping.
back what you give out.
Yeah, yeah. And she never understood that. So I think the therapist once asked me, "Why are you the way you are?" And I said, "I think because I didn't want to be my mother.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that's not what I wanted to be. So I'm the opposite. My brother is too. So we both marvel at the fact that we turned out to be very good people. So
Mm.
yeah,
I'd like to associate myself with you and your clique. I think you're really nice. I feel the vibe all the way in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
there you
So
go.
finger crossed. Yes. Well, thank you for that, Kay. So, Kay, what is your heart's greatest wish?
My heart's greatest wish is just to be able to impact people and help people and do everything with the intent of love. Even when I breathe for myself and you're breathing for yourself, you're replenishing your lungs.
Mhm.
So you should do it with love. And when you try that, it's like, oh, I do feel better. So I like to do everything with the intent of love. And I think that I hope my books bring that forward because my characters are equals in the book. They are respectful of each other. They push and help each other in their careers, both equally. And they're very loving. And I do have, little affectionate things that they do to each other that a living couple will do. So, the little playfulness and stuff like that in the middle of the scene where, bullets are flinging and she decides to tickle him. I mean, it's just whatever. And I just really like that. That's, and if everybody in the world did something with the intent of love all the time, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
I, I'm in awe. You're such a beautiful soul. Kay.
Thank you.
Do you have a mantra that you live by?
Yeah, I just said it. Right? Do everything, do
Yes.
everything with the intent of love. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely do.
Is there anything that keeps you up at night, or do you sleep well?
I sleep pretty well unless my dog is keeping me up because
You
he
and me
decides
both,
to
except I have
bark.
a cat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Same different. You're going to sleep now? Now I'm going to play because I've slept
Yeah,
all day. So,
they're zooming around, and
right, they get
oh
to zoom
gosh,
in. Somebody outside has dared to make a noise. He needs to let them know it's bedtime, so he starts barking. And I sleep very well. It's always been the goal to feel good when you put your head on.
because you've done your very best for the day. So, okay, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
A smile is a crooked line that sets everything straight.
Ah, mic drop. What was a
How's
good
that?
one? You didn't even, you didn't even, you took what, 1 second?
Don't you the fast
It was,
rider?
yeah, it's like, this is there. Gosh, God, yeah, I mean, you should have mentorship for people who, new writers, like, or
Well,
an academy for that.
yeah, I am in the TV Academy, but I have a blog on my website for new writers. I give tips all the time. So yeah,
Hmm. I like it. And you didn't even you chose the path of giving it away for free, where you could actually have, because I had a thought like probably, it's not a bad idea to become a writer's coach, right? And then you coach people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody has their own writing style and their own creative
But
ideas.
yeah, that exploration of their
Yeah.
heart, or their creative space.
Because a lot of people, when you say you're a writer, they find out you're a writer, they say, "Oh, I've got this great novel idea." Why aren't you writing it? Can't find one to write. And you're like, okay, sit down 15 minutes a day and just
Yeah,
start writing it. And by the way, your
yeah.
15 minutes turn into 30 minutes to an hour. You're just going to start writing. But you have to
Mm-hmm.
sit down and punch those scenes.
Yeah. So how can people reach out to you, Kay?
They can reach out to me at my website, which is my name. So it is uh, KAYA Oliver, OLIVER.com. And there's a contact area on there. And there's a blog if they want to learn how to write and get tips on writing. You got that? Yeah. So and all my books are there. And as I worked in Hollywood, someone the other day was, "My God, you have short little films on your books." I said, "Well, of course, I worked in Hollywood. I make trailers. So I have book trailers as well." Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow, wow,
I'm
wow.
an editor. I'm a video editor at heart and writer. So, what else do you have to do?
Wow. You have everything under your belt, so
I have an
respect.
arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you do. And there you have it, guys. You heard it from the person herself, Kay A. Oliver. Before we close off, Kay, I'd like to thank you personally for the work that you are doing for the world and for advancing every step of the way despite the challenges, creating trails for those that will come after you. For those listening, this has been that one podcast with that controversial name. You're worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, if you find yourself thinking that you are worthless, probably not alone, but more importantly, ask yourself a level deeper. If I'm worthless, then why the heck am I here? It is because your soul have chosen to be here energetically, all the way from the ethers, and for that reason itself, you are worthy and you are enough. This has been Kay A. Oliver, your guest of the day, and Nick Nieras, your host, signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been fun.